Well, welcome back everyone to Boggy Bottom Zoo. I will never get tired of saying that. My name is Leaf and it's so great to have you guys here, especially for today. We are finally building our first red crown crane habitat. When I saw these guys in game, I was stunned. I went right into my testing map and I went to go check out all the beautiful animals, but there was one that left me mouth wide open, mouth agape, just absolutely left in shock. It was the red crown crane. These guys are absolutely beautiful and have to be my fan favorites from the entire pack, and I could not wait to build for these guys. So today, that's what we're doing. We're building a lovely little habitat for them, and I am so excited to show you guys how well this came out. Now, of course, I should probably say this right off the bat. This entire set that we're building today is available on the workshop. I will try my best to get this out day one, so it should already have been out by a little bit by now. So it's a really awesome Japanese set that I feel like you guys will get some good mileage out of for both your cranes and your Japanese macaques as well. I think it's going to be a really awesome, versatile set, and I hope you guys really enjoy it because it was really fun to put together. Now, we should probably talk about the section that we're actually starting to build in. As you guys probably can tell from my last few videos, we're doing this section, and it's called Japanese Pop. Essentially, we're kind of going over various animals that have been popular within Japanese pop culture, as well as cultural movements within Japan, and we're starting off very nicely with the red crown crane. It was exceptionally, popular during the Edo period, and we often see it many times today. I know Japanese Airlines, Japan Airlines, I believe it is, actually has it as its logo because it just represents such beauty. It represents, wow, I can't even talk anymore. It also represents strength and persistence because cranes have been known to fly for long periods at a time. And I just think that's a really cool thing to have. So of course these guys have been really integrated not only into Korean and Chinese culture, but Japanese culture as well. And I really want to have them really be a central highlight of this entire area. And that's kind of what we do over here. And again, as you guys can probably guess, we're doing those mud walls again. I was very excited to get building for this one because I was very inspired by the prefectures and the natural parks that you oftentimes get in Japan. And I really wanted to have this area feel very secluded from the rest of the zoo. I feel like Asia is going to be pretty loud. It's going to be pretty dynamic. Same thing for Australia and the Crocodile area, but this one I just wanted to have it feel like it's its own section and have it be very quiet. This is something that I very much recommend to all you guys who are interested in building more advanced things for Planet Zoo. Always try and kind of frame your frame stuff beforehand before you actually do get building and going crazy with all of it, because once you do it beforehand, once you set up your boundaries, you're good to go. And you know what? You can even change those boundaries later on. But what I really wanted to do, I wanted to have this whole area feel very secluded, and I make use of the foliage with all of that. So I do some custom large bushes. I also use those rose bushes as well to give it a little bit more flower, a little bit more pop. And what you oftentimes see in Japan and Japanese parks are very tall, dark green pines. So we're doing a lot of that kind of stuff, blending in some of the Douglas firs alongside the monkey puzzle tree. And I also make some good use of the I think it may be the fir tree or the yellow cedar. I can't really remember off the top of my head, but we do a bunch of that, and we also blend in some taiga rocks as well to give this a little bit more of a rocky, very much a kind of taiga kind of feel. Even though we are in northern Australia, I do believe that pines can still grow over there. So we do incorporate a lot of those, as well as cypress trees, which are more accustomed to the weather, and we do incorporate a lot of those. Now, we should probably talk about my favorite animation that the red crown crane does. As you guys can probably tell from Tuesday's video, when they actually go under this water feature, they flap their wings and they vocalize, and they're so freaking cool. So of course I had to sneak one of these guys in here, but just a big metal beam thing, it didn't really look the best. So I really wanted just to cover it up with a bunch of wood and have it be very much like a Shinto arch. I believe there's another name for it. I believe it's also known as a Torii Gate. So we have those kind of going on, very much like a centralized theme throughout here, and this entire piece is included in the building set over there. I did work on it off camera, so there are a bunch of different fences. There's a bunch of like glass fences, mesh fences, and all that kind of stuff. So I do include a lot of those, and I do use a lot of those as well. It's a very awesome, versatile set. And yeah, that's pretty much how it all comes out. There's a big old arch right there, making a good use of those East Asia stones. I love using them now, especially for this section in particular. They just work so well. But essentially what we're doing, we're kind of like making this guest area very much focus on gravel and stuff like that, very much zen. So we do also use some of the zen pebbles as well. Just a very beautiful habitat, I must say. I'm very excited with how well it came out, and I think it's probably one of my favorites in the zoo, but not as much as my favorite as a capybara. Yes, thank you guys for even making it halfway through this video. I should probably address the giveaway. The giveaway is going to happen in tomorrow's video for the capybara, so be sure to stay tuned for that. The secret code word will be coconut, as in coconut doggy. Please just type in coconut and nothing else so I could find your comment, and then we can have a little giveaway through there. But that's how we're gonna do it tomorrow, and that contest will run for a week, so I will see you guys 1 week from that day. I think it's gonna be like Thursday or a Friday. I'm not really sure. Time is an entire illusion. Now, I should probably talk about the building that I'm building over here. This is going to be a staff building. I didn't really want to do too many backstage items, but I was so inspired by onsens, and that's kind of the whole centralized theme that we have going on over here. So I know some of my audience kind of overlaps with some Sims audience, so you guys may remember the Snowy Retreat DLC for Sims 4, and that very much centralized around Japan and like various East Asian cultures in the terms of onsens. And onsens are typically traditional East Asian spas, very much centralized around like natural hot water springs and the like. So we have that going on over here, and I tried my best to replicate one from Deligracy. I used to love Deligracy back in the day, so that's a little bit of a shout out over there. So we have that going on over here. It's very much inspired by a lot of Japanese, very traditional woodworking and stucco buildings, and I love how it looks in the end. And some of the other things I do over here, I do a basic roof over here, but I actually do go over with the clay tiles and like the clay roofs. I could have done a custom one. I think I may later down the line, because I don't like how Chinese it looks. It looks very much leaning towards the Chinese side of things, when I do want it to centralize a lot more on traditional Japanese architecture, which is a lot more contrasting than the actual Chinese stuff that is currently in the game. I'll do that later down the line. I really don't want to do it right now, but I can certainly go back and, you know, pull up my old silverette, do a little bit of architectural genius, and do a little bit of that jazz over there when I actually do get the chance. But I hope you guys enjoy the finalized product that we have with this episode right here, because I'm very much proud of it. I think I accidentally put the shutters over there, thinking like, how would I do a roof? But I think I will go back and actually put those in, because I don't want to just leave those windows kind of bare like that. I kind of want to have it feel a little bit more dynamic. So I think I'm going to do that. Thank you, Leaf, from a couple days ago. Great job. So going on through here, we're essentially just getting the roofing and all that stuff done. I do kind of make it a little bit tall. Actually, no, I kind of shrink down the other pieces, but I do kind of expand the roof a little bit more just to make sure it has enough space. I was trying to debate on how to actually address that stuff right there, but I end up using like the 1 meter slope roof or whatever. It looks pretty good in the end. And I also kind of centralize the rest of that roof right there, make sure it's nice and even. And I also do the one up there. I think I work on that a little bit off screen just so it doesn't look too not contrasting, but too similar to what we have going on right below it. But yeah, I'm very happy with this entire staff building. I really do like all those wood pieces. Those are all in the building set, keep in mind. So that's a really wonderful set in case, yep, I add them right there, and I add different variants of them. So you guys can get to work on building your own little Japanese onsens or something. I also use these throughout the rest of the Japanese habitats. I thought it works pretty well as a way to keep the cranes out from the rest of the zoo and keep them in their habitat, and it looks pretty good. I kind of cover it up with some more cypress trees as well, because those are my jam. I really do love them. They're such a wonderful tree to use when it comes to all that stuff. And I also wanted to kind of like hide away the rest of the staff area, so I kind of have that going on right there with the stucco walls. That's typically what you would see in kind of like, you know, semi-rural Japan areas. I know that's typically still is in play in some villages in Japan. Unfortunately, a lot of the modern architecture has taken over. I'm not discrediting it in the slightest, but I will say that old Japanese architecture was very flammable. It was made with some very flammable materials, so a lot of it has unfortunately burned down, especially after, like, you know, the war and stuff. It really didn't last, but I really wanted to really keep it going with all this beautiful architecture, so I kind of like that in the end. Also doing a little bit more woodwork over here with another bit of an archway. Nothing really crazy, just trying to make sure that all looks good in the end. And I also wanted to help it like cement itself down there, so I kind of have it be doubled up on itself, and I kind of have it like a little bit longer on the top, very much like your Shinto arches. I know I just called it the right thing, the torii gates. I apologize. I'm so sorry. I did an entire project on Shintoism before, so I should probably know this, but adding the rest of the foliage as well. I really like the foliage palette for this entire like section. It's very much unique to the rest of the zoo, but I still try and incorporate the rest of like what I've been using, like the Eucalyptus trees, the hydrilla grass, and all that stuff. And we're even doing custom signage. I love the signage for this section. I really want to have it pop, literally, because the entire section is called Japanese pop, and I really do like it. It's J-pop, who knew? So I have all the like the different time periods of when, like, you know, the red crown crane would have been popular. So it started around like the 1800s is when there was like a big boom in the art of the red crown crane, and we kind of have that be over there, and we add some like fake lines of text over there. I apologize, I will not be able to pronounce that. Tango. No, I am not going to pronounce that. I apologize. But that's essentially what we have going on right there. That's essentially like what it was referred to way back in the day. So we have a little bit of that going on, and I also add some implied lines of text. And we also kind of break it up in between, just make it look like, you know, there's different like sections and stuff going on. And I also add a little bit of a sign back there just to give it a little bit more of a pop. I can't stop saying pop. So we add that right there, and I kind of do change like the orientation of it over there. And I also add some benches right over here as well, just to make sure that guests can sit there. I have a little bit of a nice photo op spot right there. It looks very beautiful with the Japanese trees right behind it. And I also do some various planting throughout the rest of the zoo. I also want to include these little art pieces as well, because of course it's very fitting with the resident of this habitat. I can't get over the crane. Okay, listen, I really hope by this point, by the time the video comes out, that there are some really awesome crane mods already, because I cannot get over how beautiful the rig works, and I can't wait to see what all the modders do with it, especially Jen and Bongo. They're gonna do some very beautiful things with that rig. Also going through and adding our tried and true periwinkles. These guys are my jam as well. I have so many different flavors of jam, my friends, and this one is certainly it. So I have a lot of that stuff going on right there. And I also add a keeper door right here. I should probably add an actual gate for our cranes, and I think I may kind of build that into that faux rock wall, just because, you know, you could probably imply that there's like, you know, underground holding or something like that. I think I may end up doing that, actually. Except I put bamboo right there. Leaf, what the hell are you doing? Also decorating, like, the top of the rockwork over here, just to make sure it looks pretty nice. Also, I've been loving the random rotation tool. I cannot get over it. It's such a useful piece. Well, not piece, but feature. I never used it throughout all of 1.8. I could not get into it, but this build in particular is really teaching me the benefits of it, and I can't endorse it enough. It's such a wonderful little tool to have. So we have all of that going on right there, and we're also doing some minor decoration throughout the rest of the habitat, just making sure that it feels very lush, because cranes, they don't really break up their habitat all that much. They can, like, you know, tear up some plants and stuff, but they're usually pretty good with it. The one at Roger Williams kind of lives in a pit, unfortunately. It's a very sad way of looking at it. It's a very unique habitat, I have to say. You're very much suspended in the air. But I really do wish they get a better habitat in the future, or at least get a friend in there. I feel like a muntjac would be nice for them. Nonetheless, I'm kind of getting a little distracted. Adding our eucalyptus trees to the rest of that to very much keep in the cohesive nature of our zoo. I don't have any white gum trees over here, unfortunately. I kind of have those secluded to their own little groves. And I also add these beautiful red orchids all over the place because this is kind of like the climate where those could grow. And I really want to add that splash of red throughout here as well because it's very like brown, it's very white. I just wanted to add those little like splashes of red. Also adding those beautiful stone lanterns as well, very much fitting in with the theme over here. And we're also adding some various fences as well, just kelp, no, not kelp, we're not building any aquatics right now, just to help it feel a lot more help it feel a lot more cohesive with the theme. I really like how it keeps you on these pathways. That's what I really like about like how I unintentionally built this. Also, I add the little staff sign over here. I really like how that came out. It's kind of hanging down. I don't know if I actually added supports for that roof. I probably should. I think I actually do right after that. Yeah, you could actually see them right there. But hey, that's our entire habitat today. Let me know how you guys are building for the cranes, because they are some of my favorites to build for already. I can already start seeing myself planning a few habitats with them already now. But I really wanted to thank you guys for stopping by for yet another episode of Boggy Bottom Zoo. I know, it's such a fun zoo so far. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It was really fun to put together, and you guys are really fun to build for it. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys are enjoying the Wetlands animal pack so far, and I cannot wait to see you all in the next episode of Boggy Bottom. Enjoy the rest of the episode, and I'll see you guys then. Have a great one.